Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how the higher masculine protects his beautiful feminine, irrespective of gender, even though it doesn't feel like it at times, but how he is going to protect or does protect while the physical twin is going through their journey. So let's get into this beautiful topic. Now, where I come into play in this journey is helping people come into the embodiment of that feminine polarity, the embodiment of coming into your purpose and bringing that online once your soul knows you're ready for it. You know, working with people through my community group, which I just love and adore, and really helping people walk this path, walk the ascension path, but know that yes, the physical union is part of that journey. However, it's only when the feminine polarity can fully embody it and hold it where that will actually shift in the physical reality. So let's really get into this one. So I have felt this journey, as I've expressed many times, at a very strong, potent level in terms of the energy, right? I've seen the masculine and feminine energies merging. They have proper faces, they have hands. I've experienced them him come in energetically in the most incredible, powerful ways. Literally come in and like squeeze you tight and hug you to the point that you're like, can you not? Because it's quite painful. And this is the energy I'm talking about. Like, this journey is so much more than what you see in the physical, okay? The physical is literally a reflection of your inner being. This is you bringing heaven on earth. But the heaven must be felt in here first, and then it will show up in your physical reality. So let's just talk about what the higher masculine does for the feminine through this process. So, you know, we think as the feminine polarity that, well, what are they doing? They're just over there doing whatever they're doing, right? Running off with different people, going to work, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter what they're doing, okay? That's what we think. And are they ever just going to show up? Are they going to apologize? Are they going to thank us? Like, this is the stuff that we genuinely goes through our minds. And it's all fair and it's all valid. However, you'll learn as you bring through that 5D unconditional love and become the embodiment, all of that stuff will just dissipate. You'll realize that the journey needed to play out the way it played out because you feel bloody amazing and your life is now amazing. So you are very grateful. But when you're going through it, there's not a lot of gratitude when it comes to that stuff. So, but you will get there. So the thing is that it's all happening energetically, right? So the higher masculine is initially going to wake you up, then disappear. And it looks like in the 3D, they disappear or they'll come in and out. But the higher masculine is orchestrating all of this through that other body. So the triggers need to happen so that you can see the distortion, so you can transmute it. Once the feminine polarity is kind of like really starting to tune in inwards, it's almost like she then goes, now I'm just using he and she, remember it's not gender specific, but she then kind of goes inwards. She's like, I'm done with this mirroring, I'm focusing on me. Then what happens, this is when the power shifts in the energy field, because then she's like, I've done the obsessive energy, I've done all the looping, I'm done with all this BS playing out in the physical world, I'm done with all my chasing energy, I'm going to tune in here. And yes, you'll still be energetically chasing to a point, but that will just collapse and collapse more and more. Then the higher masculine puts this energetic wall up. And we are not meant to be knowing or seeing necessarily what's playing out for the physical twin. Now, this is not the case for all. Some twins do a phenomenal job in the physical world interacting while they're going through their individual process, right? That's very common, but it's also common for the reverse, where you go into very big, long separations. And it really does depend on your journey, what you've got to clear out of the soul. So it's what I want to say is, don't judge either way. It's very easy for those that are going through big separations to get upset because why are other twins coming in and your one's not? It's because your journey's just laid out differently. That's all. One's not better than the other. So, and it's what you need, right? Your higher self is leading all of this. And so it's what your higher self knows, this is what you need. So, and you are the higher self. It's just happening at a higher consciousness level. So this is why often we will, as the feminine polarity, you'll just shut down all that physical connection because you're tired and you're exhausted and energetic. Like intuitively, you know that this is what I need to do, so you go and do it. It's because that knowing, that intuition, that higher self of you is coming through your body, and you go and you sort of act on it essentially. So when the masculine, the physical masculine is going through their lessons, because they do, anyone that says that they don't, absolutely they do, this energetic wall often goes up. And this is where you may find that you'll experience more telepathy. So the higher masculine comes through in a different way. It's to give you reassurance. It's to show you that this is real, that you're not making this stuff up. It's to remind you who you are, to help you remember who you are, that you are this divine being. And so the key here, because we can still get into doubt, like I've got this going on, but that's going on over here, or there's deathly silence, but this is loud, and it's very confusing. So that's why I want to do this. You also don't want to get into the mind about what the physical twin is doing, because it's really like got nothing to do with us, right? Just like what we go through has got nothing to do with them as well. So it's really important for you to resonate that the higher masculine is the one protecting you. What is their role? What is the masculine's energy's role? Is to protect you, to provide you with safety, reassurance. So they may not be able to do it in the physical, but so they'll do it telepathically. Okay, and so the key here is to take what's coming through from the 5D and embody, not swim in the ethers, all right? It's take it and embody. As you're moving through your own journey, what you'll find is the telepathy will shift. The communication will shift. It'll soften. It'll be different. Things will shift as you come more into your own personal power as the feminine energy. You'll find that you'll get quite activated down in the womb space. It's when that sacred sexuality is really coming back online. The higher masculine might come in sexually as well, but the key is to not, I think with the feminine, is remember you're here to embody, not live in the ethers. So you just got to make sure you're putting some good energetic boundaries down. This is where you do learn about boundaries as well. So it's just learning as the feminine polarity to work with the energy. That's your role. Always. This is why after a while it can seem like you are detaching from the physical. It's not. What you're doing is you're realizing it's all energetic, and so the physical becomes not irrelevant, but kind of is not your focus anymore, because you're really tuned into the energy and how you're feeling energetically. So as the veil thins and you realize by this point, oh, there's no actual separation, by the way. Okay, the separation comes when you see the physical and look at it as a separate being, but when you're tuned into the energy and tuned in at this higher state of consciousness, you realize that this is who you truly are. So then you're like, well, I'm going to embody it. I'm here to have a human experience, so I'm going to embody all this beautiful stuff that I'm feeling and I'm receiving. This is your masculine leading you. So when it feels like, what are they doing? Where are they? And you're getting this is your masculine protecting you by putting that wall up, because you don't need to see or be knowing what's going on with them. That is their gig, right? It's their gig. They have to sort their own life out as we do ours. So he's one, protecting you. The mind won't like it. The fear-based energy won't like it, right? But you've just got to really lean in over here. He's then leading you in the higher realms first, because if you're like me, having someone lead me is not It just was not my MO. It's like, I don't think so. I run the show here. Yeah, nah, not on this journey, you don't. So that's that illusion of control and fear that we've all got to like step out of. So let him, what I'm saying is allow him to lead you energetically, okay? And this is when you start tuning in. This is why I always say tune into your soul. You're being guided and or led, or however you want to put it. And your masculine will, like as the veil thins down more and more and more, that veil of separation, he's guiding you this whole bloody time, and it's learning to trust and have faith in the unseen world. Essentially, that's what you're leaning into. That's what you're embodying, so that when the physical starts to show up, you've kind of already embodied it. You've already embodied that trust, right? Because the true connection is not really with the physical. It's actually with the non-physical, because that's where the bond comes from. And so then the physical masculine starts to show up in that higher consciousness, because you're now in it, right? You've embodied that higher state. You're not in these lower versions of yourself anymore, where you're in fear-based energy and, you're afraid that they're going to trigger you, and, are they going to run off to somebody else? You're just like right out of that distortion. And so then eventually will be out of that distortion. They can't be in something, because you're one being. So you can't, if you're out of it, they are going to come out of it, right? But we just lead it energetically. So yeah, I just wanted to just touch on this today, that your higher masculine is working with you this whole entire time, but our ego looks at it and goes, they're not doing anything, but they are doing it all energetically. It just starts with us. And it's just tune into your energy. This is where you're being guided. This is an energetic bond, okay? It's not about the physical. The physical is a reflection of what you're holding inside of you, the heaven that you're holding inside of you, the union that you know is true, that divine union that you know is true. But you must walk the ascension path. You can't just have union, okay, in the physical without walking the ascension path. You've got to walk the ascension path. You can ignore the ascension path as much as you want to, and but it will, the soul is the one saying, hey, come on, we want to get out of all of this distortion. We want to get out of all of this programming, and we want to really elevate. We want to bring something different to you. So it's tuning in and getting to know yourself and look at this through the lens of the soul, and just remembering that this is a very beautiful divine bond that you have. However, it's not about the physical, it's about the non-physical, and bringing that then into physical reality. And you do that through embodiment, not staying up in the ethers, and certainly not focusing on the physical twin. You do it through embodiment. So you bring that 5D unconditional love consciousness, and you bring it into your everyday life, into all parts of your life. That is what you're being shown. But of course, the first part of this journey is all more around that ascension and going through all that purging, purification, and and every part of this journey is essential and necessary, even though it's painful. But the key is to just trust that this is about the soul. It's the soul, and you are the soul, and so you're getting to know yourself as a soul. If you need some, real genuine support on this journey, I've walked this path. I know what it's like to tip your whole world upside down and change everything. And I also equally know the other side of it. And I know the beauty and the magic and the alignment. And it's just incredible. So, it's trusting that you're being guided is the main one, right? And learning to trust yourself. That's the key here. It's learning to trust yourself and trust this higher knowing that you have, and then learning to embody that higher knowing. Anyway, as always, sending so much love.